Hi, y'all. I want to pop on and address a common anxiety about Enneagram. As you know, I work with the Enneagram a lot in my fiction consulting through the story alignment calls, the indie author alignment course, and the Supercharger series course. For a lot of authors, this is the first time they've encountered the Enneagram. And when they learn their type, they can kind of freak out a little bit. For one, it's eerie when someone describes you so perfectly, but also a lot of the descriptions and memes and so forth about each type can focus a little hard on the negative. And because we start the Enneagram usually from a place of average or unhealthy qualities of our type, we can start to get down on ourselves when we read those descriptions. We also live in a society that places more value on the gifts of certain types over others. And you might live in a microcosm within your community or your profession that does the same. And what if you're not one of the types that's valued? That can become a bit of an existential crisis. So I want to put your mind at ease and tell you that no matter what type you are, society cannot be healthy without you and your gifts. It's really amazing when you think about it. We rely on each of the 9 types to maintain balance and health. So a dismissal of certain gifts as unimportant or not good, it's really a symptom of society being sick, not that you are not valuable. I'll go into that more, but first you might be asking yourself what this has to do with story. So a strong story has a diversity of characters, not just diverse backgrounds and outward qualities, though that is important, but a diversity of Enneagram types, meaning a diversity of motivations and a diversity of gifts. So like the 3 wise men didn't all bring the same thing to baby Jesus. They brought different things that represented different gifts, all of them important. And that's not just crucial because it means that Mary didn't have to ask for a gift receipt, so she could get baby Jesus what he really needed. It's important for another reason, which we're going to keep talking about. So when you build out a story, you're picking a cast and you're building out a society. Because remember, characters are a reflection of the society they live in, whether they embrace those values or reject them, whether they're a healthy manifestation or an unhealthy one. So you build your society through your characters, and it's that bridge between them that allows us to apply the Enneagram to society itself. So I want to talk about what role each type plays in a healthy, fully functioning society. So imagine it like this. You have 9 characters. Each one is a different Enneagram type. In that way, you have the potential to create a full micro-society. Now, what does each piece look like? So at its best, here's how I see it. Type 1, the reformers. They are the conscience of society. Since this type is fixated on right versus wrong, they're a great person to defer to on these matters because they've been applying themselves to the questions their whole lives. That's the lens they see everything through. When they're a healthy version of this, they have incredible wisdom on the topic. So if you ever need help trying to figure out the right thing to do, ask your reformer friend. Type 2, the helpers. This is the heart of society. So helpers have the ability to see exactly what kind of help people need. They're fixated on helping others. Because of that, they can be really great at it. And don't we need that? But it takes a big heart to be able to put yourself in the other person's shoes and feel what they're feeling and be able to tell what would help best serve them. So the 2s, the helpers, are pros at compassion. That's really what we're getting at with the heart of society, compassion. And a society without compassion, that's a scary thing. So the 2s help us stay grounded in that. Type 3, the achievers. They are the doers of society. Knowing what to do and doing it are obviously 2 very different things. So once 3s have a plan in their heads, they get it done, period. It doesn't even have to be a plan they came up with, which is great. They just set their mind to it and that happens. So because of this, they can inspire others to take action. And that's so freaking important. Achievers, they get things done. Then we have type 4, the individualists. They are the soul of society. And I'm not talking about good versus evil soul here. That's more the reformer's conscience thing. I'm talking about that font of creativity and beauty that we need to inspire us to think loftier thoughts and dream big and keep life rich. The individualists are the artists that challenge us in ways that only great art can, really. And their ability to look inward is also paralleled and crucial. So then we have type 5, the investigators. They are the knowledge of society. Without the gifts of this type, we wouldn't have any facts or scientific knowledge as common ground to stand upon, from which to argue other points of life. So investigators, they're in the head triad, and they take that very seriously. They are the knowledge, but also the memory of society. There are scientists as well as our historians, maybe not by profession, but as a way of functioning in life, in the world. A society that doesn't value science is a society that doesn't value the gift of the investigators and slowly erodes the idea of there being facts and truth. So then we have type 6, the loyalists. They are the support of society. So society needs its leaders, but it also needs its second in commands. And that's where loyalists are great. So not only are they amazing at supporting others and the first one to volunteer to follow their friend into a fight, but they're also incredible forecasters. So the ability to see the vast array of outcomes for any situation, it may drive loyalists a little batty sometimes, but it keeps us on track and avoids dangers before we walk straight into them. So the loyalist's ability to support others by helping, like gauge risks and, negate them, that's crucial to a forward-moving, healthy society. Type 7, the enthusiasts. They are the joy of society. Now, people downplay the gift of the enthusiasts all the time, at least in the US, but joy is like rocket fuel for the soul. It's that crucial element in the human experience. Joy is a strong collective experience. It bonds us together when we experience it together. And not everyone is great at feeling it or knowing even where to find it. But enthusiasts always do, so they can smell it from a mile away. And even in the worst situations, when everything looks dire, they're able to find it. And when they find that joy, it looks a lot like hope. So joy is a very brave emotion. When you're feeling down, turn to your enthusiast friend to help you find joy, even in the dark times. Type 8, the challengers. They are the champions of society. So a lot of people hate on challengers because they have a big personality and strong wills, but I think that's great. So have you ever felt alone and wished that there was just like someone to help you out, someone to champion your cause? That's what I mean by champions of society. Someone who takes up the cause of the needy and the weak and advances it on their behalf. It's not as soulful or compassionate of an effort as you might see in like a helper, but sometimes you need that big, bold, won't take no. That's very focused, not so much on the feelings of helping, but on just doing it and challenging the people who are oppressing. So when things get dark, that's when challengers really shine. So every society faces hard times and challenges. That's inevitable no matter how healthy it is. And that's when we absolutely need challengers to come in, to step up and to be the champion for those who need it. And then we have type 9, the peacemakers. They are the uniters of society. I almost called this type the glue of society, but I don't think anyone wants to be called glue. So they unite us. They have a gift of taking a group of disparate personalities, like types 1 through 8 of the Enneagram, and getting them to work together in the best possible way to make a bunch of pieces into a complete puzzle. The enmeshment that can get peacemakers into trouble sometimes, that's the same skill that helps them see exactly what is special about each person, and then helping everyone defer to the right person in the right moment to make the right decision. So whether you mean to or not, your story will have all of these elements present in its society. The conflict of your story world arises when one or more of these gifts is weak or undervalued. So maybe the 7 center of society, joy, is missing. You might end up with a story like Grapes of Wrath or Brave New World. Maybe the 5 center of society, knowledge, is terribly undervalued. Facts are dead. You might end up with the doublespeak of 1984 or the movie Idiocracy in that case. how might an undervalued gift of the Enneagram manifest in your story or series? How might it influence the theme of your story if the idea of, say, conscience has been eroded in that society? What about if compassion is devalued? And how might that help you pick the right protagonist to run around stirring up conflict in that type of a society? So this is crucial to consider as you write a fleshed out book or series. But it's also important to value it in yourself and not second guess. Don't berate yourself for your gift. Instead, learn to value and cultivate it. You can't have all the gifts, so stop trying to do that. What you can do is grow the one you have the most of. And when a friend needs help or society needs help in that area, you're ready. I know it can be hard to hear, but you're just a part of the puzzle of society. But you are a crucial part. So your job, aside from developing that gift, is to learn how to turn to others for their gifts and then trust them when they give it to you. You need to learn to defer to the right person's judgment at the right moment, or listen to the 9 when they tell you when to do that. So if you need facts, defer to a healthy investigator. Do you need joy and hope? Defer to a healthy enthusiast. And when other people need your gifts, don't be afraid to stand up and say, no, this is where I shine. So now's the time you listen to what I have to say because I know what I'm talking about. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope it helped you feel a little better about whatever your type is, because all of them are wonderful and each of them are desperately needed. Okay, happy writing.